Hello and welcome back to Dicebreaker, where I hope you can see me because I'm not in charge of the live stream. We are back with another RPG stream. If you joined us yesterday, you would have seen us with the Outside Xbox gang playing Lasers and Feelings by John Harper. We have what is essentially an adaptation of Lasers and Feelings by a man named Colin Cummings. This is Boy Problems. It is an RPG based entirely on Carly Rae Jepsen and the 200 song vault that actually exists in real life that contains 200 unreleased Carly Rae Jepsen tracks and are locked away from everyone in the world. It is thousands of years in the future, and it is a cyberpunk adventure in which our intrepid heist criminals are going to try and steal the songs from the vault, for good or for ill. I'm joined by the rest of the Dicebreaker crew. We've got the whole gang in this one. Let's start with the person who I can currently see on screen. It's Johnny Chiodini.
Hello. Can you hear me?
No.
Yes, Johnny.
Okay.
Oh, God, no.
I will be playing as Nigel Bambridge. He's a middle manager who's still living as if it's somehow 1975. I am a bumbling new kid, so I've never tried a life of crime before. And my goal in this is to, the whole reason I'm going after the vault is that I've had a song in my head for years now, and I don't know what it is. And I'm trying to work it out, and I'm convinced it must be one of the songs in the vault. So that's why I'm Breaking Bad.
Next up, we have our editor-in-chief himself, Matt Jarvis, who has just come from the streets of London where he's been selling Rolexes.
Yeah, you can tell it's cyberpunk because I'm wearing sunglasses. I am playing Gnarly Defray Gedham, she's a fixer. She's bumbling. Unfortunately, she's had a tough run. She keeps doing these jobs, but everyone just keeps dying. So she's taken this job to prove that she can pull it off without everybody else dying. I'm so glad you're part of my party. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I've got great experience. And
it's not a party for one either.
It's not a party of one. It is, in fact, a party of 5. Best number.
Hey.
That famous song, Party of 5.
Yeah.
We are also joined by staff writer Sarah Elsom. Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I will be playing Carly Rae's house son, who is so cute. Who is a malfunctioning evil clone of Carly Rae Jepsen, but who is convinced that they are human nonetheless.
Up next, we have. Sorry, I got completely distracted by Watson there.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the other staff writer on the editorial team. It's Alex Meehan.
Hi. My name's Carly Rae Julian. I'm quite sexy, some might say. I'm an inside man, and I definitely do not have any previous connections with Carly Rae. I don't even know who she is. Definitely no connections.
That was some of the most subtle character acting I've ever seen you pull off, Meehan.
All right.
And last but not least, in probably the most preposterous get-up, and that's why I've saved it till last, it's Alex Lowleys from the video team.
Hi, hello. It's me, Carly Rae Jepsen. I'm not the famous Carly Rae, the singer or what have you. I am a different Carly Rae Jepsen, and I keep getting her mail. And my grandchildren, Billy Ray and Falula, who I love a lot, they set me up with social media. So I'm on the Facebook. Essentially, and I keep getting messages from people, and I would like that to stop. I'm in retirement. I'm just trying to do my garden and enjoy myself.
That's me. My stomach hurts.
All right, so here's our ragtag crew that for some reason have been hired to pull off this incredibly complex heist. Let me give you some backstory on what this game's all about. So basically, this game was written entirely for the fact that someone was inspired by Carly Rae's 200 song Vault. This is a cyberpunk game. It is an adaptation of Lasers and Feelings, which means that if you watched our live stream yesterday, then you'll be all clued in. But essentially, the characters are going to have exactly one stat, which is a number on a 6-sided die. And when they want to roll with usually feelings, but in this case, emotions, they're going to try and get over the number that they've set. And if they're trying to roll with lasers, but in this case, swords, then they're trying to roll under the number that they've set. If they manage to roll the exact number that they picked as their stat on any of their dice, then they will cut to the feeling, and they will not only succeed, but they'll also get to ask a question of me, the DM, and I will have to answer truthfully.
Do we get to sing a Carly Rae Jepsen song of our choice, or is that copyright?
You can sing, what is it, up to 10 seconds?
Just don't sing it perfectly on key. You have to sing specifically off key.
Okay, I'll do that.
I reckon we've all got that one covered.
Yeah.
This is terribly confusing. The screen keeps changing. It just
wow. This is really deep cut, guys.
So our characters are basically made of a role and a style as well as their number, which it means that they're all going to be playing sort of specific roles in the heist. So, for example, Lolies will be playing as the driver. Alex Meehan will be playing as the inside man. Sarah is playing as the grifter. Johnny Chiodini is playing as the new kid on the block, and Matt Jarvis is playing as the fixer. This means that they all have a special bit of equipment that they get in addition to the standard things that they're carrying, which is an outfit of your choice, an earpiece to communicate with your team, and a concealable taser gun that has exactly one charge. Let me give you a little backstory now on the story that we're going to be playing today. And from here on out, it's all original content, baby. It is the future year of 3020, and technological marvels have swept the Earth, revolutionizing how we live. One thing remains the same, though. Music still sounds exactly like it did in the early 21st century, after the world decided that pop idol Carly Rae Jepsen had perfected the ultimate pop track. After her death, just under 1,000 years ago, her consciousness was uploaded into the cyberweb that keeps the Earth running by the Apple Corporation, and she now provides digital entertainment to her adoring fans the world over from cyberspace under her new moniker, iCarly.
Whoa!
You made me laugh like a seal.
This is the ultimate crossover. Oh my goodness.
The story of the 200-song vault still bubbles under the surface of this pop princess's cool and collected guise, and it's clear that she wishes to release these tunes to the world. But as they currently sit under the watchful eye of Mogul Media Records CEO Zach Wack, they remain unheard by the public. You have been hired by iCarly herself, the organization that does her bidding, to try and liberate these songs so that they may be finally heard by her fans the world over and usher in a new age of pop music.
This is going to get very confusing.
You say that like it's not already incredibly confusing.
Oh, no. I was following on until it got to iCarly. Now my feelings are mixed.
Okay, so the job is simple. You are going to be infiltrating Zach Wack's headquarters, the Mogul Media Records tower in the slap bang of New York City. You will be coming in through the roof. The getaway vehicle that you have selected has been parked in the basement parking level. How you get in from there on out is up to you. You're the professionals, apparently.
So you say.
so it says on your CV. We cut to a rainy, neon-lit rooftop of Mogul Media Records tower directly in the heart of New York City, right on the New Manhattan Strip. And you can see the flurry of lights around you. Probably everyone's still listening to Carly Rae Jepsen music. And as you stand on this sort of rain-slick helicopter pad, you have a brief moment to catch up and remember the plan.
Yeah,
What?
so does anyone have the plan? Or
Well, I don't have the plan, but if there's somebody who wants to give us the plan, then I can certainly help facilitate it by sort of just telling everyone beneath me what the plan is.
yeah, okay.
I don't think I should be in charge of but I don't have a good history with rooftops. A lot of they're very high up. People, you ever seen someone fall off a rooftop? I've seen too many. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Who
But
are
maybe
you?
someone else should do the plan.
Look, old lady, I explained this to you before in the car, probably about 5 times. You're a driver.
Oh, right. I do like to drive. Carry on.
Anyway, maybe we should try and get inside and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that sounds great. I turn immediately to just the nearest person and go, so we're going to try and get inside. That's our achievable goal for the next quarter. And then from there, we don't have a North Star yet. We're going to be planning, but suffice to say, we're gonna find that low-hanging fruit. We're really going to move the needle on it. That's our roadmap. Go, go, go.
I like this young chap. He's got,
You'll
he's
get
got
you'll,
spunk.
you'll get a notification on your cyber phones because Nigel Bambridge has done a meeting follow-up email where he's itemized all of the points and said that they were all his action points.
I really
Then,
wish...
as you're sort of like scrolling through your emails, you get a click, and it's not coming from around you. In fact, there seems to be a door that's opening onto the roof. You will duck down quickly because you know you're not supposed to be here, and you see someone in like a raincoat lighting up a cigarette and sort of staring over the night sky.
Can I go over and
Lord.
kind of wave my finger and be like, smoking will kill you?
He whips around and he's like, "Oh, the hell are you doing here, man?"
I like kind of reach for the cigarette. I'm like, give me that, give me that.
He sort of like just watches this bumbling old lady just snatch a cigarette out of his hand, and he's like completely bewildered for a second. And he sort of reaches for a little communicator device that he has sort of pinned to his top, and he's just about to press a button to try.
You'll thank me one day, young man.
I'm gonna stand up and go, Grandma, what did I tell you about bothering other people? Hey guy,
I just met you.
let's just vibe for a minute. And I bring out a packet of cigarettes and like go to hand him one.
Okay, so you're going to try and stay cool and calm and use your presence. All right, so I'm going to ask you to roll with swords, which means that you're trying to roll under the number that you've set, which for the audience benefit is what number, Mian? Sorry.
I mean, I was hoping it was going to be more like I'm trying to empathize with this guy, but okay.
You don't sound very passionate, which is making me think that there's not much emotion going on.
it's all underneath, mate. It's all
Yeah,
underneath.
bro. There's no emotion on the surface, but like there's a depth of feeling.
My number is 2.
Okay, well, that's good.
This is gonna go well.
Obviously,
I have a feeling maybe I should have chosen a different number, but heyo.
Obviously, Charlie J. Julian's natural sexy presence is helping with this.
He's charismatic, you know.
Could I hinder? Because I would like to stop Charlie Rae from giving this man a cigarette.
Okay, that's fine. Give me 1 second and we'll come back to you. So, Charlie J, you are the inside man. Can you tell me what gives you that kind of description? What link do you have to Mogul Media Records?
Jolly J is an up-and-coming musician, artist. And he has been speaking to someone in the inside of the records company. So he has someone in there who he can contact if, let's say, things go awry.
Are you on the road to getting signed by Mogul Media?
I mean, yeah, they're looking for really hot artists right now.
Okay, so because you are a known face, I'm going to say that this is going to be 3 dice, but before that can happen, your supposed teammate is going to try and step in the way and try and hinder you. So whenever you try and hinder or help someone, you're going to make a roll of your own, and then if you succeed, you will either take a die of your hindering, or you will give a die of your helping, which means that me and will either be rolling 3 or 2 dice. But can you please explain to me, ladies, how you're trying to hinder this action?
Well, I'd like to just kind of like snatch the pack of cigarettes out of her hand and just be like, just reiterate the fact that smoking will kill you.
Are you
And
angry?
I've told her that, yes. I've told her this many times.
Okay, I'm going to say this is an emotions roll.
Mm-hmm.
So normally when you're adding your dice, it's whether or not you're experienced in something or whether or not you're prepared for something that you're going to add with. I'm going to say that you've been telling people to stop smoking all your life, so I'm going to give you 2 dice.
Thank you, young man. I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Okay, so that is a success. You also get to ask me a question, but because this is a hinder roll, it doesn't really have as much effect, so I'm going to ignore that for now. But me and you're only going to get 2 dice to try and succeed on this because you're also dodging the liver spotted old hands of your teammate.
Catch these hands.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, that's this is going to be an issue. I have a feeling about this character, maybe for the majority of this playthrough.
Perfect.
I mean, it's just a cigarette thing. I don't think I'll be in the way for her.
I'm thinking more of the number I may or may not have chosen.
Well, there's no take backs now. We're live.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I rolled a 6 and a 3. That's 2 fails.
Okay, so as you're trying to sort of like hand this cigarette over, you feel them sort of snatched out of your hand, and as you're doing this, you sort of fall back a little bit, and your glasses sort of slip up, and he sees the sort of panic in your eyes.
Yeah,
you
the
realize
eyes, by the way, are like bloodshot. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Smudge eyeliner.
And he's like obviously going straight to his communication device and say, "I got a couple of perps up here on the roof. I'm not sure why they're here. Somebody sent them back up."
Before he does that, can I stroll up? So the cigarettes have been like taken out of his hand, right?
Yes.
Well, I'd like to
your friend Charlie J. Julian's hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to open my jacket and try and upsell this guy on a kind of vape rig. So I'm going to walk up and be like, I really, really, really like you. And I think you're going to love what I've got to offer you. And then I kind of open my jacket, pull out this. It's a cyberpunk world, so let's say it's a cyber vape. Yeah, it's glowing. It's full of ohms or whatever have you. It's puffing smoke out everywhere.
It is cracked full of ohms. It is
absolutely
brim with ohms.
Yeah, it's kind of humming like a small generator. And I offer this across. Little does in order to try and distract from going to the communicator.
Okay, he's definitely halfway through his sentence, but he gets a little bit distracted as you walk up to him. Can you sort of explain the kind of approach that you're taking with this? Are you trying to like give him a really rousing speech about how amazing this vape is, or are you trying to be calm, collected, and be like, "Hey, man, why don't you just have one of these instead?"
I'm always calm and collected. Yeah, so I walk up and I'm kind of like, just slide open the jacket, just kind of revealing rows of kind of trinkets and glowing things and whatever have you. Whatever you need, I've got it. It's right here. So I walk up and just remove it and just bring it straight up to his kind of face to distract because it's glowing blue and green.
Flashing like an RGB keyboard.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask for 2 dice and you're rolling for swords.
Sword. So I have 4. So okay. I'm rolling under.
Yeah, you're rolling under 4, which is pretty good odds.
I got a 5 and a 6.
I don't know how, but I knew that was exactly what you rolled before you even put the dice down. So you're sort of like shoving this vape rig at his face and the flashing lights are like blinding him a bit. He smacks it out of your hands and continues his call sign as he sort of reaches for some little taser device in his hand and tries to wave you guys back. You just step back right now. I don't know how you got up here, but you're certainly not coming into this building.
Could I slap the taser out of his hand? That's dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ask for, once again, you've been slapping things out of people's hands for, what, 70 years? Yeah, so I'm going to ask for 2 dice, and this is definitely going to be emotions.
Oh, snake eyes.
Uh-oh. So as you sort of snap out of his hands, you just sort of like, he catches a glimpse of you in the corner of his eye, and he whips round, and the taser hits you straight in the hand just as it's going off.
Dead.
The rest of you, especially considering you're all quite rain slick right now, the rest of you see this old lady just sort of like a cartoon character skeleton flashes in front of you as she sort of wails a bit and then drops to the ground on her butt. As this is happening, a couple of guards sort of charge out with tasers of their own. They're like, "What the hell's going on up here?"
Man!
The character. I'd like to stand up and produce a clipboard. And I want to march forward and go, "This is a routine inspection, and may I say you've done very well so far."
Okay, yeah, give me 2 dice on swords, please.
Swords? Oh,
Yeah.
no. No, that's 2 failures because I picked a 2, much like me. And
I think you guys have slightly misunderstood how this works.
yeah,
What's an option? We're picking here.
4 on account of being professionals, or
You what,
like
sorry?
should we have picked higher numbers because we're professionals?
Well, it depends on how you're approaching. If you come up to someone sort of like and try and look professional and say something with a very corporate manner, then that's definitely swords. Whereas if you were to come up and sort of yell at them like a drill sergeant and say, "What the hell are you doing?" that would be emotions.
Oh. Well, I've done it now. So that's 2 fails. So I've joined the bundle of people who can't do anything right. Zara, you're up.
I'm going to say that as you walk up, you're also tasered in the gut.
Excellent response times, and I kind of mutter into my knees, like, the taser's working, I see.
I sort of I look over at the tasered guard, presumably being joined by many other tasering guards, and I say, "Please stop hurting my friends. It is breaking my heart. My heart will break, and I would surely die." And I kind of like sort of look around and go, "A human heart for human feelings." Just like, please, sir, please stop hurting us and my beloved companions.
Sorry, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Are you an exact replica of Carly Rae Jepsen?
So I probably thought a bit too much about this, but I'm basically a cyborg that was created to proliferate Carly Rae Jepsen songs.
Do you look exactly like Carly Rae Jepsen?
I look exactly like her.
Okay.
I look over and I say, "All I want is for them to burn with happiness at all of the songs of Carly Rae."
Right, you are a grifter, so you're definitely experienced in trying to confuse these people. Also, I'm going to say that your immaculate appearance as Carly Rae Jepsen herself is also helping the sort of like cutesy shtick that you're trying to pull on these guards.
Mm-hmm.
So please roll me 3 dice, and this sounds like emotions to me.
Yeah. So I've got a 4 with that, so I need to roll over 4, right?
You need a 4, a 5, or a 6.
4 or 5 or a 6. All right, let's try these 3 dice. Yay! I got a 6.
Oh, finally, someone succeeded. So is that just 1 success?
I got a 4 as well, so that would be 2 successes. Oh no, wait, it's the exact one. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've got 4, you also get to ask me a question as well.
Okay. What would be the most sort of straightforward route into the vault?
There is, straightforward as in if you were in the building for like a public visit, there is like a huge elevator shaft that goes straight down the center of the building. Mm-hmm. And it seems like from the schematics that you searched before the mission, it seems like the vault is slap bang right in the middle of the tower itself. So if you were trying to get there in the most direct route possible, that would certainly be it. So we snap back to the rooftop where you've walked over and you've sort of like pulled over, and then the smile just sort of like into form on your face. And a couple of the guards sort of like they're about to tase you again, and then they realize what you look like, and they're like, "Oh my god, is that iCarly? No, can't be."
As you might see, we've been recording a really hip fly music video up on the top of this roof, and you just totally ruined it. So can you please, like, go away?
And I glance at the taser man and just go, "I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now." And just smile. Please, hello, beloved companions. Please, will you allow us to move through unaccosted to bring the music of Carly to everyone?
This is genuinely terrifying, Sarah. They slip their tasers back into their pockets, and they're like, "Oh, we're very sorry. We didn't know that was happening today. We thought this was tomorrow's shoot. Oh God! Oh, we're gonna get in so much trouble."
I'm afraid that you were incorrect.
You tased an old lady. How do you feel about that, young man? How are you gonna tell your mother about this?
No, miss. Sorry, miss.
Yeah, think about what you did. Go into your room.
Okay, miss.
I brought my grandma to come and watch us film the music video, and you like tasered her. So maybe you should go before I call my agent and Carly's agent.
Okay, so they stop panicking now. They're shoving their coats back on. He grabs the cigarettes off the floor and slips it into his pocket without the old lady seeing, and just sort of like shirk back into the door.
As they're going away, can I sell them bootleg cassette tapes of Carly Rae Jepsen albums?
Cassette tapes?
Yeah.
Cyber
cassette tapes. Yeah, the tape inside is hologrammatic, but the tape's cut out halfway through, and then it's just like recordings of children's songs, like the Frog Chorus.
Sometimes you have to use a hollow pencil to get
exactly.
it
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can certainly try, Matt. Let's roll. Describe your approach to me.
Oh, it's literally as they go. I'm like, "Oh, it would be wrong to send you off without a memento of this occasion, having met not actual Carly Rae Jepsen, but kind of close enough. You know, the closest you kind of scum are gonna get." Not scum. I didn't mean that. I meant loyal fans. And then I turned to Sarah's character, whose name I can't remember. Robot Carly
Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae Jepsen, sorry. And kind of tried to give a knowing look of like, "Help me out here."
And I sort of look over to the guards and I say, "It would be most fortuitous if you were to buy my companion's wares, considering the grave and horrible injuries you have already caused my friends so far."
Yeah, what the robot said.
I am quite hurt.
I turn around and sell a kind of taser like recovery kit to Johnny's character.
Fantastic. Sarah, can you please roll me to help Matt? I'm going to ask for 2 dice of swords, please.
2 dice of swords. Okay, so I've got to roll under a 4 for those.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. That's a 4 and that's a 5.
Okay, so that's 1 success, but you do get to ask me a question. As I said, we're just doing help, and in the aid of speeding this along, because we have a very short time span and half an hour has gone and we're still on the roof. Let's crack on to Matt's dice roll. So you're going to get 3 dice for this one, Matt, and I'm also going to ask for swords.
I got a 4, and a 2.
Right, okay, you can ask me 2 questions then, because that is a great success.
So we know the most straightforward way to the route, to the vault. Is there any security on the way other than these guards, as in human security?
Oh, there is a lot of security. This is quite a prestigious building, and they always get fans trying to rush in to grab autographs or steal paraphernalia from them. So there is security on every floor of this building.
Okay, are there any laser beams or anything like that we need to worry about as well?
Oh, absolutely. If there were laser beams in this building, they'd have to shut down. Okay, so you walk over with your sort of cassette tapes and give them your graft. And as they're sort of like ducking away with their tail between their legs, that one of them just slips out a couple of credits and like shoves them into your hand and grabs a cassette tape, because actually they're massive fans. And then as they're leaving, one of them just goes, "Oh, we'll leave the door propped open for you," and just sort of shoves a cyber brick in between the door and the door frame. And you're now sort of left alone on this rain slick roof.
Come on then, let's go. And I start going towards the door.
Loose cannon, that one.
I just sorry, carry on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I sort of look distantly, and I just say, those meat bags were very weak. I think we should facilitate their demise. Hashtag Carly Rae just saying. I look to the side.
I'm noting this down. I'm like, well, maybe we should consider that as an action point for later. From the meetings I've taken thus far, it seems like the superstar retinue, albeit the non-lethal one for now, was quite effective. Maybe we should reorganize and say that we're here to escort you to the vault, to add new songs to it, increase the legend.
If you like, I don't mind. Let's just go.
Okay. Sure.
So you all sort of follow this this is quite grumpy old lady as she's
I'm linking Nigel, by the way, because I think he's escorting me. Just FYI.
Yeah, you're like looking for support on Nigel, and he's sort of like being dragged along by you. And you open the door into what is essentially like a fire exit that comes up to the roof, and is also sort of like an entranceway for helicopters when they come down, because as you can imagine, lots of celebrities come into this building quite a lot. And you sort of like follow these stairs down onto the top floor of this building, which seems to be like a few sort of corporate offices. Whilst it's sort of like nighttime, there's still a few people who are sort of like working late nights, and you can see the couple of guards that saw you on the roof. They're just kind of like avoiding your eyes, like on the walls, making sure they don't get into trouble. And you can see like a couple of people with like pinstripe suits, like looking at articles online that they're trying to have their say on and give PR press and all that kind of stuff. A few of them like yelling down their cyber communicators at each other. But from what you can see, this is a pretty standard sort of like office floor level. Right at the end of this floor, though, there is like a very ornate looking office behind some like glass panels. A lot of the sort of windows have been sort of fogged up. It looks like they're that kind of glass that can turn frosted when you press a button. But there's just one little crack where you can see that through the door. This seems like a fancy place.
Yeah, Charlie's gonna stride forward and try and get ahead of the old lady, and look like straight in his jacket and start looking like walking like like with purpose, and like looking around and saying, "Don't look, turn away. Carly's not here for photos. If you want a photo opportunity, you've got to email me and then send me like $300, and then maybe I'll give you one."
So you're trying to sort of like back off to all of the people in the office.
Yeah, but I'm also like gesturing at them, going, "You look really good, I have to say, and then you look good as well, and I look good, and we all look good."
We're all looking great.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying to charm people as well, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I want to be. Charlie wants to look like someone that other people are impressed by and also want to be.
Okay, I'm going to ask for 3 dice for this one, because you are not only sexy, but you're also a celebrity as far as you're concerned. So people should recognize you.
Charlie is a celebrity, but definitely not affiliated with Carly Rae Jepsen in any way.
So you're going to roll me 3 dice, and I'm going to ask for emotions, which means you're going to be rolling over your number, which is a lot more handy than rolling under for you.
Okay, I rolled 5 and a 6. And a 1.
5 and a 6. Okay, so you sort of like you push your way through a crowd as they're sort of sort of like looking around the desk and being like, "Oh my god, is that Carly Rae?" They're sort of like whispering to each other, and then you're like, "Okay, out of the way, please, people. This is an important meeting. We're here to get to the office." And as they're sort of like sidling up, you can see a few of them are sort of like sneakily taking photos on their cyber phones and all kinds of things happening in the background. But you've cleared a path for you guys to walk through.
I'd like to turn to I just as a quick aside, I'd like to turn to Nigel and be like, "What is this fancy place, isn't it?"
Oh, well, you get used to the. Why am I going American? That's not the voice at all. Well, I suppose, yeah. Well, it may seem that way, but you've worked in one office, you've worked in them all. Believe you me.
I was just telling you, I thought it was fancy, and aren't they fancy in here?
Oh, you're one of those old ladies who just phrases statements as questions. I understand. That's fine. Yes, it is fancy.
So are you following the path that's been like the parting of the Red Sea that's been pulled off by Charlie J, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you heading towards the fancy office?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so as you're sort of like getting close to the big wooden doors that are slightly ajar, you can see that the lights in the office are definitely off. And as you get closer and closer, you can hear what you think is snoring from the other side.
Okay. Is there like a keyhole? I don't know what goes on.
No, there's basically like the door is open, like it's very slightly ajar.
Okay.
So you would just be able to push it open, but there is like a key card slider that would be on the other side of it.
Can I peek in? Can I peek through?
Are you trying to not be seen when you do this?
I just want to peek around the door and see who's snoring.
Okay. I'm going to ask for probably swords for this one. But you're welcome to try and let somebody else do it if you want.
I'm going to turn around and look at the grifter, whatever his name is. And I'm gonna.
You mean Gnarly Death Ray?
Yeah, Gnarly Death Ray, and I'm gonna gesture at him to go towards the door and be like, "Who's in there? Can you tell me?"
Gnarly sidles up and she pokes open. First of all, from her jacket, she pulls out a t-shirt gun that's loaded. You can see in the barrel it says, "I saw Carly Rae Jepsen, but not really, but kind of." And I push open the door with the barrel of the t-shirt gun, just as kind of a precaution, in case this person wakes up and I need to take them out.
Whoa, escalation.
It's always good to be prepared. Always bring a t-shirt with you. That's the logic where I come from. That's the old saying. T-shirt for every occasion. And while I'm saying this, as I say the words "t-shirt for every occasion," I'm pulling open the other side of my jacket with my spare hand, and there's a row of t-shirts that people can come up and claim, and they are auto charged to their accounts.
Everything in this world auto charges to your account.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to roll 2 dice for me with swords, please.
You got it. Double 3.
That is a double success for you. So this is essentially like what looks like a CEO's office. It's got golden plated records on the walls. You have no idea what they're for or how they're used. As you sort of like peek around, you can see like a huge wooden desk, and you're surprised to see things made of wood in such a like abundance here. Like this person must be very, very rich, whoever they are. And you can see on the tip of the desk is like a nameplate, and it's a hologram that's being like reflected on some glass, and it says Zach Wack, CEO, Mogul Media Records.
Okay.
The snoring is now louder as you've poked your head into the room.
Charlie, seeing that it's all clear, like looks in, sees the guy asleep. What does the guy look like?
You can't see any people right now.
Oh, there's no people. Okay.
You can just hear snoring coming from inside the room.
Okay. Well, You walk in and look around, you know, like try and find the source of the snores.
Okay, so you sort of you follow the snores as you walk in. You're making sure that you're quite quiet as to not creak the door. But you're also conscious that there are people behind you who are obviously taking photos. So you're trying to look like you're supposed to be in here.
Yeah.
And as you sort of like sneak through, is everyone else following, by the way?
Can I usher everyone in so I can close the door?
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like right behind her. Like I'm
Okay.
I'm so Snoopy. Like I love just going through people's things. So I was like,
Yeah, you found like a magazine rack and you're flicking through and being like, oh, these are awful. And as the sort of like the door closes behind you, suddenly you're in this sort of like quiet room, and you can realize that the snoring is actually accompanied by this tranquil music that's being played out of this big sort of like speaker system in the corner of the room. And the snoring sounds like it's coming from underneath the desk.
Okay.
I have to go over
Oh,
and have a
Lord.
look underneath. Is there somebody under the desk?
Are you trying to be quiet about this, or are you
No,
just straight up
Not
walking
at
over?
all. Yeah, straight on walking over.
Okay, so like you hear the clicking of an old hip as she walks around the desk, and as you peer under, you sort of like you hurt your back a bit as you're straining, but then you see there is this this like 30-something man with this like huge black sort of like slick back hairdo, almost like an Elvis Presley do. He is wearing cyber sunglasses. He's wearing a sort of ruffled white shirt. And he's got a blanket over him as he's sort of like asleep on his arm underneath the desk, like mouth completely wide open, like.
I'd like to like pinch that person's nose. I want them to stop snoring, essentially.
Okay. You
My
pinch the man.
husband snored like that for lots of years, and oh my lord, was it annoying. Not going through that again.
Okay, so you pinch down the man's nose, and he's like and sort of like just jolts awake to see this old lady just sort of craning over him, and it's just sort of like flailing his arms around as he sort of like wriggles out from under the desk and stands up, and he's like, hey, whoa, what's going on here? Who the hell are you guys?
Can Carly Rae walk forward and be like, oh my god, is that you? You're Zach, right?
Huh, hey, of course I'm Zach. I'm Zach Wack, CEO of Mocha Media Records.
Even like after just waking up, you look really good, man. Like, I love this look you've got going on. Yeah, like,
Hey,
really
you guys
good.
gotta look good in a position like mine, huh?
Yeah.
You need to calm down because you're a lot. You're a lot right now.
Hey, well, there's a lot of people in my office right now. You know what I'm saying? Where the hell are you guys come from?
I sort of, oh, sorry.
No, you go for it.
I look over and I'm like, a place that was cool enough to hear about your whackness and how great you are. And I just kind of look at him smiling.
Oh my God, is that the Carly Rae?
Yeah. We've come with Carly Rae because we've heard so much about you, and we really think we'd like to make a deal with you, but we gotta talk about some things. But I just gotta say, you look really good.
He's sort of like
He like
pushing his
takes the
shirt down
glasses
a
down.
bit, like.
just quickly, I would like to use my phone to send a message to Gnarly, and slip out of the door back into the main floor of the office. I want the message to say, leveraging creative solutions, text me if things go bad. And outside, I would just like to find the nearest like elevator or stairwell or wherever there's an evacuation plan, and I want to get ready to pull the fire alarm.
I reply, or Gnarly replies even to Nigel's message, and it says, thank you for subscribing to this premium service. The first text message is £5 and will be £5 thereafter until you send the word stop.
Sorry, that's Brent.
Like Nigel stands in the corridor alone, visibly sweating, unsure of whether unsubscribing would stop him from being able to receive the message that things are going south. So he's, I think, preemptively going to transfer some money from his rainy day fund into his main account, enough to receive about 20 messages, and then he's gonna continue looking for a fire alarm.
All right, Nigel Bambridge diversifies his portfolio in the background.
He does. Yes.
And Zach Wack is sort of like, he's starting to rub his eyes. He's like, hey, man, I was trying to get my beauty sleep. What the hell are you guys doing in here anyway?
I mean, we sent a cyber message. I don't know if you got it. Maybe it got lost. But...
You think I read my own cyber messages?
Yeah, I mean, you're way too important for that. Anyway, we're here at Carly, and Jolly's gonna gesture towards Carly Bot.
Carly Bot.
My eyes are completely glazed over, and when he gestures over to me, I kind of like I break out into a slow smile and just turn slowly and look at him again.
She's super cute, yeah, and we wanted to make a deal with you regarding Carly and the vault.
So he sort of like tilts his head to the side, and he sort of slowly walks over to his seat and sits down. He says, how did you guys know about the vault?
I mean, as you probably might have noticed, we're pretty big shots, a bit like you know. We're in the same sphere. I feel like we're really vibing right now. And, like, we would know about the vault, and we just think it's a really great opportunity that you're not taking. It's sat there.
I'm going to ask for 3 dice of emotions, please, Mian.
Emotions.
Emotions.
I got 5 and a 3.
5 and a 3. Okay, so he sort of like sits back in his chair and sort of leans into the lever of it, and he's like, huh, that's quite an interesting proposition you got for me. Tell me, why exactly is pop superstar Carly Rae Jepsen, formerly known as Carly Rae Jepsen, that is, Carly, why are you right here in my office of all places?
I've come here to bring joy to everyone through my music, and it just seems silly to me to hold some of it away from the public where they can't enjoy it and just really love it, you know, like the beloved. My fans mean so much to me. They are very much beloved by me and everyone else here.
Yeah. She speaks from her soul.
Surely it just breaks my, and I kind of like a single tear runs down my face, and I'm just like, it just really breaks my heart that no one can hear my wonderful, beautiful music. It just makes so many people happy, and I would just hate to take that from them. And
Okay,
yeah.
Sarah, I'm going to ask for 2 dice from you, 1 extra because you are a grifter. So please roll 2 dice, but you are rolling for emotions.
Emotion. Okay, so that is again
4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, that's a 3, and that's a 4.
Okay, so that is a partial success, but you do get to ask me a question.
Sort of. Okay. How is there any security around the lockbox?
The vault itself.
Yeah, about the vault itself.
The vault is behind about 4 layers of heavy cybersecurity, including guards. Like, this thing is locked down. It's probably the most prized asset in the entire building. So he's kind of taken back. He's like, I thought that Carly only existed in cyberspace, so it's weird to me that she's right in front of me. But I'm not the kind of person to look a gift horse in the mouth.
That's true. I am a gift to everyone and everything. And I just kind of smile again, like all dazzling.
She really
Excuse me, did you say your name was Zachary?
It's Zach Wack, old lady.
That's a silly name, but we'll go past that. I am Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay, now I'm confused.
So this Carly Rae is in collaboration with this Carly Rae. They're both coming together as like a big celebration of everything that's great about Carly Rae.
I am the real Carly Rae.
I sent that in the cyber email, but I don't know whether you got that as well.
My God, it's an intergenerational collab.
Yeah, it's like the hottest thing ever. Anyway, how about you take us down to that vault so we can see what's in there and just get this going, yeah?
Well, I can't see any weird repercussions that would come from that idea. Sounds great. Let's go. He's sort of like, he bolts up and he grabs something out of a desk and just sort of like behind you, just go, okay, I'm ready to roll.
Oh, he's asthmatic.
Yeah. Terrible.
He starts sort of like grabbing a few like trinkets and necklaces that he throws over himself, a few accessories.
And the whole time, Carly Rae's going, "Oh my god, yes!"
Yeah, he's probably vibing in front of you, like yeah. Voguing out, and then he literally just sort of like boots the door of the office open, and just starts like walking down like this, expecting you all to follow him. He's heading straight for the massive lift in the middle of the building, or elevator.
Charlie is going.
Everybody else following? What's Nigel Bambridge doing?
Nigel has wandered away from the nearest fire alarm panel and is teaching a slightly confused looking intern how to use macros and spreadsheets. He's sort of like, hello, sorry, I know I'm not, we're not even in the same team, but you seem to be having a bit of trouble, and I thought I know a few tricks. May I? So I'm just helping out with a spreadsheet.
He's been using Cyber Excel for only like a couple of weeks now, so he's really glad of the help. But then you see the entourage just sort of like passing by you.
Okay, cool. I was going to ask if I could have done a chummy routine to try and get some information on the building, like maybe on like guard patterns, or just be like, this I'd sort of like, this is the accounts. So we'll work up to accounts because that's a lot of sort of numerical macros. Have you got anything with sort of just like personnel, a long list of personnel, the security teams maybe? And so I want to have a good look at the patterns.
Okay.
And
I'm going to ask for this is definitely going to be swords. But as you are a corporate drone, I'm going to give you 2. And to be fair, you are kind of bumbling your way through this. Let's give you 3 dice.
Hey, I hope I roll well.
You need a 1 or a 2.
I rolled none of those.
He just sort of like grabs the lid of his cyber laptop and starts pulling it down. He's like, who are you again?
I'm going to make tea. Do you want some tea?
Hey, man, I've never heard of it, but if you're making it, I'll have one.
You've never... Okay. I'm going to wander off and try and find a tea point.
Okay.
No, I'm going to follow the entourage.
Okay, good. So you make your way up to the sort of like these huge steel doors of the main elevator that sort of services the most of the building. And on either side are the guards who met you on the roof, and they're like sweating now. They're like looking up into the ceiling, hoping that they don't get noticed, just sort of like craning their necks around so that you can't see their faces properly. And he's like, "Hey, what's with the awkward atmosphere over here? I needed to press the button so I can go in the room." And he's like, oh, okay, boss. Yeah. And he just starts slamming the button, hoping that it comes as soon as possible.
I have to say these guys were a little bit confrontational, but actually no, they're cool.
Confrontational in my office? Well, that's just not a nice vibe.
It's all right. It's being processed through the proper channels, isn't it, lads?
Yeah.
That young man tasered me. I am 80 years of age, and he tasered me. Do you know what that could do to my heart?
You tasered an old lady? You're fired. Get out of here. He starts sobbing.
Get out of here.
No, there's no need for this. I think we can find an agreement here. How about a kind of a gift between us to let bygones be bygones? And so I offer t-shirts from my jacket, and they're only $30 each. Cyber bucks. I say, all's well, and then I also sell them like a commemorative "I didn't get fired" pen, which I have in the other pocket.
You're damn close. The doors of the elevator sort of crane open, and you see on the back panel, like this is an enormous building. It goes up above the clouds, and you can see like this entire wall of buttons. But there is like a little panel with like a key lock in the center that has one unnumbered button in the middle. And as he sort of like walks into the elevator, he's like, "Hey, where's my key?" Grabs it out of a pocket. And you realize that it's not necessarily like a standard sort of lock and key. This is like a little fob that he just holds up to the hatch, which then beeps and pops open, and he presses the button and sort of ushers you all into the lift.
Carly Rae is gonna look behind him at what's she called? I keep forgetting her name. Gnarly. He's gonna look at Gnarly, and then he's gonna look over at the fob very meaningfully. And then he's gonna go, "Oh, that's a really cool little thing you've got there. Can I just take a look at it?"
The key fob.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I should be handing this over to people I've only just met.
I
And he
mean,
starts to try and put it back in his pocket.
I don't wanna hold it. I just wanna take a picture of it, because I'm collecting pictures of my visit. It's gonna go up on Cyber Instagram, and it's gonna get so many views. You're gonna love it.
I'm gonna ask for 2 dice. Someone as sexy as yourself, of course, always uses Cyber Instagram. But this is going to be cool rather than emotions. So this is swords.
Oh dear, double 6.
He sort of slams it into his pocket, and you see him sort of like fasten a cyber button and make sure that that's not coming open anytime soon. He's like, "Hey man, I don't want to harsh on your social media vibes, but this is important stuff. Now let's all just enjoy the cool, refreshing tunes of Mogul Media Records as we go down 40 floors."
Which Carly Rae songs play?
None of them, weirdly.
Ah!
Carly Rae is not signed to Mogul Media Records. You're aware of this. That's why it's such a kick in the ass that Carly is not in charge of the 200 songs that she's got in storage, especially since she doesn't have a physical body to actually try and get them herself.
While the song is playing, Gnarly gets out like a cyber tape deck and starts recording off the speaker in the lift, and just goes, "Is this out yet? When do you expect it to come out? What kind of numbers are you expecting it to do?"
"Oh no, this is one of our new tracks that's got a few tweaks that we're still working on."
I love it. Don't speak too loud. Don't speak too loud.
Yeah. No. Carly Rae is like getting down right now in the elevator.
We've got a pretty tight embargo on this one. If this were to get out, it would be a hellfire.
Oh yeah, be profitable forever. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
Why would you be playing that in the lift, you silly old git?
Wow, this old lady's really harshing my vibe. Where the hell did you find her?
She's a comedy act. Don't worry about her.
You hear the dinging as each floor goes past, and then you sort of like wait with bated breath as you realize that you're sort of one floor above the one that you need, and it seems like it takes ages for you to go between these 2 floors. There's like a pregnant pause in the air, and then everyone just sort of like twitches for a second, says, "Is everyone all right? Why aren't we stopping? Why aren't we stopping?" And then bing! Thank God for that. The doors crack open, and you see in front of you one of the most heavily guarded vaults in all of existence, the Carly Rae Jepsen Song Vault. There are laser tripwires. There are guards in posts. There is a huge open floor. It's almost like the entire building on this level is just open with no walls apart from support beams. And right in the center is what looks like a really old-fashioned style vault that goes from the floor to the ceiling, almost like a bank vault. And inside, presumably, is the target of this operation. He sort of like waves a few hand gestures to the guards, and they press a few buttons, and you notice the laser tripwires literally part in the center, and he starts sort of like walking down in the same fashion that he did before.
The guards here, they're just hanging out, no?
They're guarding, yeah.
Can I?
They're not
go-
like playing cards, like they're on jobs.
Well,
They're all working.
yeah, well, sometimes people slack off. We all do it. Can I go up to one of them and like let the others follow? What's his face? Zach.
You want to sidle up to one of the guards and have a chat with them whilst everyone else has gone off?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a sec. Is everybody else following Zach Wack?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so he's sort of like strolling elbows up down this like center parting, and he makes it all the way to like the last layer of security, which is literally like this. It's almost like a checkpoint. Like there is a holographic, but actual physical force field that seems to sort of lift up like you would let a car through somewhere. And there are two sort of pods on either side with like heavily armed guards with quite severe looking weapons. And they sort of like they nod to him and press a button, and you notice it go up. And he's like, "Well, here they are, all of the songs, my most treasured collectibles, right here for anyone to take."
What?
Oh my God.
So we're in the room with the songs, right?
Mhm.
How big are the songs? What are they stored on?
They're behind the vault. You can't see them just yet.
Okay, so we can't actually physically get to them just yet.
Well, you are stood in front of the huge sort of like classic like twisting vault door.
Are you going to open the door or what?
Well, hey, there was no mention of opening the door itself. I just thought you wanted to see how cool it was.
You're showing us the door and you're telling us this is the collection. That's...
I'm confused. What do you guys want to do with these things?
We want to see them with our eyes. Obviously. Are you thick?
I'm
Once
afraid.
again, this old lady is really harshing my vibe.
I sort of look over to him. I'm just like, I'm finding it really hard to like vibe with the music from out here. Like I say, we're all just a part of iCarly, and it's really important to me that I'm close to iCarly and that I can share the music as I've been created to do. And I just kind of smile at him and blink sideways ever so slightly, but continue smiling.
I'm going to ask you for 2 dice,
Mhm.
and you're going to be rolling with emotions.
Emotions. All right. That's a 3. That's a 4. God,
Okay, so-
I chose a good number.
Partial success, but once again, you do get to ask me a question.
Is there any? If we were to kick him out of the vault? Actually, no. What is the way to open up the vault? What is the means to do it?
It is like a literal sort of like twisting, almost imagine like a matted locker. Like it's an actual old-fashioned tumbler that you need to sort of switch left and right and all that sort. And then the actual door will sort of part like a fallout vault door kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sort of like, he judges you for a second. He's like, created? That's weird. I thought you were iCarly herself, but I'm not going to read into that. Sure, I guess that opening the door wouldn't have any serious repercussions for me. So get it open, boys. He sort of waves over one of the guards who sort of like sidles his gun on his back. And he walks over and sort of like shields this massive tumbler. And you hear it sort of click right, and then click left, and then goes left again a bit, and then goes right. It's quite a complex combination that he's opening. But then you hear like a it's like the airtight seal starts to disseminate around the room, and there's like it's almost like a sort of dry ice effect that pulls out from the bottom of the door. And as you hear this creaking metal, the guard sort of like heaves the door open, and behind it is this like small device that looks like almost like an old-fashioned USB stick. And it is on like a plush cushion on a podium in the center of the vault.
Are there any security cameras in this room, in the vault itself?
In the vault itself, no, but there are plenty on the outside.
Okay. We're all still standing in the doorway right now?
Yeah, you're sort of stood in front and like beholding this incredibly valued treasure.
Okay, then I want to turn to Zach and say to him, just one quick question, actually, if I might, Mr. Whack.
Sure, weird guy with the tie. What is it you want?
Well, I mean, as I've always understood it, Carly Rae Jepsen, or iCarly, as we now know her, is very much a pop musician. I was wondering, is there any truth to the rumors that, in fact, she might have changed genres for the 200 songs that are in the vault? And in fact, and here I turn to the nearest security camera and say, these are, in fact, rock and roll songs?
There is a strange
Wait.
quiet in the room, and you hear the lasers behind you close tight. Suddenly, all of the guards lift their guns high up in the air and are peering them towards you. And then Zach Wack sort of starts laughing, and it's a strange kind of like stunted laugh. It's like ha 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 ha. And he starts jittering sort of, and sparks start flying out of his neck. And then you realize that the Zach Wack that you've been talking to was a robot this entire time. As his sort of sparks fly out, he starts to malfunction and his eyes lose all color and his head goes, and he's now just sort of stood still, craning down. You notice Nigel Bambridge slink behind one of the guards as he's passed a laser pistol, and you are now surrounded. From the back of the vault itself, you hear, and from around the corner, a man that looks incredibly like the Zach Wack that you've been talking to this entire time steps out. But he is of a completely different nature, more sinister, more looming. Well, well, well. What a performance you've carried out for me here, Nigel. I knew you were a fantastic hire.
Thank you so much. I want to turn to the rest of the crew and be like, I'm sorry I failed to middle manage your expectations about how this mission was going to go. But old Zach here sent a circular around the office saying, heads up, we've got some troublemakers coming our way. And well, old Bambi thought he'd earn himself a wee promotion, maybe.
And what a promotion it's going to be, Nige. Head of Global Middle Management.
Can I taser Nigel?
You've got one shot, remember? Is that all right?
Oh, like for the whole game?
For the whole game.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to ask you to roll. Like, can you explain to me how you're going to pull this off, considering you're surrounded by armed guards?
Am I not stood beside Nigel? Or you said you ducked back a bit?
He slinked off behind the guard, so there's a bit of a gap between you now.
Ah, okay, no, then I won't. I thought he was just stood beside me.
Okay.
Not to spoil the fantastic reveal you've just done, can we roll the time back a bit so that I can do the thing I sort of wanted to do a little bit?
Let's say that whilst this has all been going on, you've been chatting to one of the guards, which I definitely didn't forget about.
Yeah.
Rude. Can I go up to? Is there like a lady?
Yeah, this is a pretty equal opportunity workplace.
Should be. Charlie Ray is gonna, smooth back his hair a bit. He's got some nice stubble going. Eyeliner's on point. And he's going to saunter over to this woman and he's going to go, hi, my name's Charlie Ray, and I just wanted to say I really like what's going on here and I think you're doing a really good job.
Okay, so there is like a sort of quite stern looking pixie cutted guard who is currently sort of like typing in some codes into the laser device, almost like she's preparing for something. And then she sort of like, she looks over and she's like, I'm sorry, who are you?
He's gonna lean subtly against one of the walls. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that I'm Charlie Ray and I really like what you're doing right now, and I think you'll look great.
Can you please roll me 3 dice? And I'm asking for emotions.
I should think so. Okay, I got a 6 and a 5.
At first she's like, and then her eyes open up, and then she grabs her phone and starts like typing something in rapidly, and then just sort of looks back between the phone and you and says, "Oh my God, you're actually him. You're Charlie J.
Yeah.
You're the Charlie J."
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I just had to come over and say something because I think your vibe is really doing it for me right now.
Oh,
And
well, I mean, obviously, I'm your biggest fan.
I wondered, and he leans like forward and says, "I wonder if you could tell us something about this place. Like, you know, that elevator? How?" I was just a little bit anxious, but how do you get out, like up the elevator?
Up the elevator, that would only take you to the helicopter port. But I mean, if you went all the way down, that's where the parking garage is. I'm assuming you guys came in by a cyber car.
Oh yeah, obviously. Is there like a special thing I've got to have to get the elevator working on this floor, or?
Oh, well, I mean, this is quite a high security area, so you'd need one of these key cards, and she just sort of holds it up, like on a lanyard, a cyber lanyard, if you will.
Carly Rae like flicks his hair a little bit and goes, "Oh, right, okay. I mean, we just met, but this is crazy." And he pulls out a piece of paper and it says, "Maybe call me."
She, like, shaking, takes the piece of paper and she's like, "Oh my God, I've never seen real paper before."
While he's doing that, can he like try and like slip the key card, like swap it with the paper?
What, like
staring into her eyes, like
an Indiana Jones swap?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for the same roll again. 3 dice of emotions. Give it to me with feeling, Mian.
That's a 4 and a 5.
4 and 5. She is like bewildered by your gaze. Like it's almost like she can see your eyes through your sunglasses. And she's like, I just, this is amazing. And as she sort of like holds up her hand that's holding the lanyard in, she's like gesticulating about how big a fan she is and how honored she is to have your personal phone number. And you just sort of like grab the key card from within her grasp without her even noticing.
Put
And
it
shove
in
it into
that
her
tight
back
jean pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, tight jean pocket.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah, it's really great. And as this is happening, she's like she's getting like a sort of like nudge in the back from one of the other guards, and she sort of flips around and he's like, "Come on, it's gonna happen." And she's like, "Oh, Charlie, it was amazing talking to you. Do you mind just standing over there for like 5 minutes?"
Yeah.
So she sort of gestures you over to sort of like near the elevator again.
And the wall, like,
you see all of the things that I described before happen in front of you. So we cut back to Nigel Backstab Bambridge as he is sort of like twirling his mustache, I imagine.
Oh, he's definitely clean shaven.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He's twirling what would have been a mustache.
I think he's reattached his work pass to his belt, and it's on one of those ski passes, and he's just like. Zzz, 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 zzz.
Are we completely surrounded, right?
Yes.
Is the way out open? So the vault's open, revealing the stuff.
Yeah.
And then the exit out is also open?
All of the
guards in the way.
security defenses that were disabled as you walked through have now been re-enabled. So there's laser tripwires, there's the holographic sort of like car stopping device. There is all sorts of horrendously difficult to get past cybersecurity in front of you.
I'd like to do 2 things.
That's always a good start.
First of all, I'd like to pull out the vape that I unsuccessfully managed to sell earlier. And I'd like to press the overdrive button on it and basically throw it towards the guards because it's obviously a flimsy bit of kit. It's been in my jacket pocket too long. It's not been maintained. And I want it to essentially explode like a smoke grenade or a vape smoke grenade.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that the smoke tastes of caramel or, like...
Smells of churro.
Yeah, the kind of thing that Charlie J would be into. I've got whatever you need, love. I sell the grandma a chamomile vape before I do this.
I pay way too much. Like,
oh yeah, there's no other way. So I'd like to do that, and while that's happening, so as I throw that, I want to aim the t-shirt gun up and click it round to commemorative tea towel. And essentially fire a message into the sky for Charlie J, or somewhere towards a camera, some kind of way of getting a message out, maybe towards the same camera that old Nigel rocked the horns on.
Okay. So you are a bumbling fixer. I'm going to say that fixer is going to help you with this. I'll give you 2d6. This is a cool, calm, and collected action, of course. So I'm going to ask you to roll with swords.
All right. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
All right, that is 2 successes. So a couple of things happen at once. So, like, first of all, Nigel Backstabber Banbridge and Zach Wack, the true Zach Wack, are sort of like laughing with each other, like, ha ha ha, these fools have come into our trap. And then he turns to you and stops laughing and says, Nigel, I forgot
hearing
one thing.
Hearing them laugh, I'm just like, it is a joke. Ha ha. Ha, ha.
Joke recognized. Nigel, 2 things. First, weird laugh, man. Number 2, as global head of middle management.
Yeah.
I forgot to give you your new ride. And he sort of like clicks a button on a little remote that he has in his hand. And this little hoverboard arrives, but not like a real hoverboard, but like one of the little wheeled ones that people have now. And it has a little clipboard attachment that you can put your clipboard into.
Oh my god, this is amazing! I'm like, I hoped, Zach, but I didn't dare dream. It happened. A guard comes over and brings a sports bag, and I immediately start pulling out wrist guards, elbow pads, knee pads, and a helmet. And I don my full safety gear.
Can I sell Nigel something before he gets on it?
No. Here's what happens next. You grab the vape from your pockets, and Zach Watt laughs. He's like, one final smoke, huh? And then you say, yep, and chuck it down onto the floor. It rebounds off of the metal flooring and smashes into the brand new hoverboard that Nigel's just been gifted.
No!
The 2 collide and explode into a huge cloud of caramel churro vape. And suddenly everyone is just completely surrounded by a thick, chugging cloud. As you fire the commemorative tea towel into the air that says the words, quick, Charlie J, we're in trouble. Have a cup of tea on it.
It's a bath towel.
It's a bath towel. You are now all surrounded by a thick cloud of smoke. Or vapor, should I say.
Get them! Somebody get them!
I'm trying to... Sorry, go ahead, Lily.
I just like to try and tase Nigel now.
You
can't see him right now. Everyone,
I'd
you can
like
barely
to,
see in front of your own face.
I'd kind of like to waddle towards where he was, though, with my taser outstretched.
I'm on the floor desperately trying to put my hoverboard back together.
What happened to your sunglasses?
A vape exploded in my face!
That's true commitment. Okay, so what's everyone else doing whilst whilst the old lady is trying to bumble towards Nigel to zap him.
I'm not 100% sure exactly how Charlie J is going to see this commemorative detail. Maybe is there a monitor like that's connected to the camera?
Yeah, I think Matt said that it flashed up in front of one
Okay.
of the security cameras, so you can see it on a screen in the little booth that you're in.
So Charlie J sees that, and after what he'd heard and seen, he realized what's going on, and he's going to head to the vault. And he's got a little portable speaker, like clipped to his jeans, obviously. And he presses play on that, and you start hearing like some classics of his own music that everyone's been streaming. And he starts like basically grooving into the vault and doing some amazing like boy band moves. I'm telling you, and the music's really loud.
Ming, that's all great. Quick question: how are you getting past the massive laser trip lines?
Not about the trip lines.
Here's a quick thing as well.
Can he try and maneuver himself around during?
Do you want to dance through them?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct
Wheels,
answer.
did you not say that we all start with an earpiece at the beginning? So could they not have just communicated through the earpiece?
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been anywhere near as dramatic like this.
Also, Gnarly charged the bath towel to Zach as he fired it.
Yeah.
So
I'd also like to point out that at no point in the rule book does it say that Matt has an infinite coat of stuff that he needs at the time when he needs it.
I come prepared.
we're just kind of playing fast and loose with these rules. So Mian, I'm gonna ask for, I mean, it's a sexy dance you're doing, right?
Yeah, it's very sexy. Like, it's just the most sensual dance you've ever
When you're
seen.
doing this dance, are you dancing like from the heart,
Oh,
or are you dancing from like years of training?
Charlie J does it from the heart.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for emotions then.
He remembers all those great times he had. Definitely did not have with Carly before he left her, and now he's like feeling it. Sorry, iCarly. Okay, that's 3 successes.
3 successes. I asked you to roll 2 dice.
Yeah, that was a really good roll.
2 successes.
Okay, so you start sort of like limboing under tripwires and then sort of like galloping over others. There's a bit where it's like the laser is sort of like bent this way, so you kind of have to twerk sideways through. And you like showing all of your favorite dance moves. You manage to get to sort of like the periphery of this huge cloud of smoke where this like huge barrier that could stop a tank going through with its like physical holographic force field is. And on the other side, you can see that the vapor is sort of like flying up against it and blocking it, almost like it's an invisible wall. Whilst this is happening, the crew inside of the vapor cloud, one of you is bumbling towards the last known location of Nigel Backstabber Banbridge with your taser outstretched. I'm going to ask that one person to roll some dice for me. I'm going to say that being a charismatic driver probably isn't going to help you with this in any way. So I'm going to ask for 1d6.
I've been training for this my whole life.
Says who?
I'm a grumpy old lady.
Do grumpy old ladies often wield military-grade tasers?
I do.
My grandmother did.
Yeah. All right, fine. 2d6. Why not?
I don't know why I'm helping.
Are you doing this out of anger, or are you trying to coolly slide over and grab him before he sees you?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm like, I just want to like teach him a lesson. So
Okay.
I don't know where that would fall.
That sounds like an angry sort of like hit him with a wooden spoon action. So I'm going to ask for emotions. So you're rolling over 3, or 3 or over, rather.
That's a 4. I got 1 success.
1 success. Okay, so you managed to get sort of like around the sort of area that you think Nigel was in, but you can't figure out who's who. Like there's guards, pardon me, there's Zach Wack himself, and then there's Nigel. So you're about to press zap on this taser, but you don't know who it's going to hit.
That's
Do
fine.
you still want to press the button?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna roll a die now.
I don't like any of those people who you just mentioned, so that's fine.
A 1 or a 2 will be a guard. A 3 or a 4 will be Zach Wack, and a 5 or a 6 will be Nigel himself. I'm afraid you've hit a guard. Okay, so you've like pushed this taser right into the gut of this like 20-something who's just started his first guard job, and he sort of convulses over as it zaps all the way through his system and starts like spasming onto the floor.
And I'm like, that'll teach you now. That'll teach you.
And like through the electricity, he's like, I don't know what I did. I'm going to ask now, Matt Jarvis and Sarah, what are your characters doing right now in the cloud of vape?
Hi, Carly, you go first.
So we're surrounded by guards, and we have Zed. Okay. I kind of I lift up my smile. I kind of look around, and I immediately belt out into a perfect cover of one of Carly Rae Jepsen's song. So I open my mouth up slowly, and it kind of like comes out.
It just plays for a speaker in your throat.
But I sort of mouth it. And then I stop and I kind of just go, I Carly sad, why, and just start kind of like just kind of crying, and occasionally like saying in like a perfect Carly Rae Jepsen like voice, just singing beautiful snippets here and there. So sad, we made this, why not ours? So sad, so much pain, my heart is in pain, and I just weeping and sit like just kind of weeping and singing alternately.
Okay, Gnarly Defray, what are you doing?
Be 1 sec.
We're here to get these songs, right? So I want to find my way to the vault, which is still open, because it's kind of in there. So what are the songs stored on? Because I can't remember how.
USB stick.
Okay, great. I want to make my way towards that, but I need to find my way somehow. So I'm guessing that the smoke is quite thick.
The entrance to the vault is massive, and you know, like you can remember the position in which it was in. So you just sort of walk in that direction. It's quite easy to get into the vault if that's what you want to do.
Okay, great. I'll get into the vault.
Okay, so you start sort of like walking forward, and as the vape starts to dissipate, you realize that you're walking into the vault itself. And right in front of you, you can see on this plush cushion is the memory stick in question.
I'd like to swap it for one of my memory sticks, which obviously I have in my jacket. They're very portable. And on that memory stick is a replacement album, which is just recorded from, I don't know, let's say it's Charlie J songs, but it's also full of phishing software. So as soon as anyone plugs it in, it immediately downloads a load of subscription, like premium viruses that they then have to pay for.
Fantastic. Okay.
It installs basically, you know, when you buy like a Lenovo laptop or any other brand laptop, and it always comes with a load of stuff that immediatally tries
nobody
to
asks for. Yeah.
It's that. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So you swap them out with the memory stick that you happen to have had in your pocket. Luckily, you had it with you. I mean, can't imagine if you hadn't, Matt.
I mean, I always bring my t-shirt gun and a USB stick.
And you're now just sort of like on your own in this vault with the goods. And you need to try and escape. You know that the getaway car is waiting for you in the basement. But the question of how to get there is the most pertinent one right now. As far as everyone else is concerned, they have no idea that you have that memory stick unless you communicate it to them, by the way.
Sorry, you go ahead, Mr. Jarvis.
I fire a T-towel that says I've got the stick.
Where is the T-towel going? Into the big cloud of vape.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
I set over the earpiece if you want, but I also fire the tea-towel because it earns me $15.
Got it. Are you doing both of those?
Of the tea-towel and the earpiece?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so like everyone who's in a vicinity of the vault just hears a and then there's like a sort of like as something just flies past your head and you have no idea what it was. And then coming in on the sort of like communication device that you all have in your ear, you can hear Gnarly Defray saying,
I've got the stick. This is a premium phone call. It's charged at £1 a minute. And then I put it on hold music.
Speak up, would you?
I really don't like the song. This Johnny J. So there's this holographic wall. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other side are your friends.
Is there like a control unit for it?
There are two sort of pods either side, and in them you can see guards who are sort of like training their guns into the vape cloud pointing away from you.
But there's not a control unit next to the wall, the holographic wall. Like there's
you can't see it straight away, but you could imagine that probably the guards in the pods would probably have some kind of control device.
The guards in the pods, I can't get to those, no.
Well, you've gone through the laser tripwires now, so you've got a bit more movement than you had before.
Explain to me the layout of what
Okay, all right. You've gone through a massive laser tripwire field. You're now in like a small area of undefended territory in between the laser tripwires and a big holographic like wall that's stopping you get to the vault itself where the vape cloud is.
Either side of me is what? Walls?
Either side of the holographic wall are two sort of guard pods with guards in them with guns trained into the vape clouds.
But they haven't seen me yet.
They are not facing you, so the likelihood is that they don't know you're there.
Okay.
God almighty.
Great. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna get my phone out, my cyber phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have it like turn on the camera and have it like hold it in front of me, like this. I'm gonna start walking into one of the guard pods. And I'm gonna be saying, so I'm here, I'm live streaming this for you guys. I'm really excited about this opportunity right now. I've come here to talk to these cool people. And I turn the phone around at the guard and say, oh, hey, do you want to say something to all my followers right now?
The guard is like sort of like looking behind you, kind of confused at who he should be pointing his gun at. And he's like, sir, you can't be in here. You need to turn that phone off. Also, if my girlfriend's listening, hey, can't wait to get home to you. It's been 5 years. Finally, I'm coming back from my job, and we're gonna have an amazing time together. But seriously, sir, please turn that phone off.
You got so many likes and comments from that now. Think about what this is gonna do for your image.
I mean, that's amazing, but also I am contractually obliged to shoot you in the face right now.
Excuse me. My bladder is not what it used to be. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom.
Carly Rae's filming that as well.
Oh, in real life? Okay, Lotus.
In real life.
Okay, that's fine.
Bio.
We're finishing in exactly half an hour, but that sounds
Exactly. Hold it in.
Just go. I did it.
Okay, well, she's doing that. Okay, so that didn't actually happen in the game, right?
No.
So Carly Rae is gonna be like, if you shoot me, that's gonna look really bad for my image, and everyone's gonna see it. I really think right now, and he lowers his sunglasses and says, I really think you should listen to what I'm saying.
I'm going to ask for 2d6, but I'm going to ask you to roll swords. So you're going to need a 2 or a 1.
Goodbye, Charlie J. I knew you well. Double 2?
Oh, that is a success. And you get to ask me 2 questions.
Get ya. Okay. What's the best way for me to turn off this holographic wall?
There is a big button that says turn off holographic wall. It's behind the guard.
Behind the guards, right. What would convince these guards? Actually, no, that's not the right question. Yeah, no, why not? What would convince these guards to, like, calm down a bit? Is there any way of reasoning with them?
They are under the employ of this company, so they're not going to just be converted, but you could probably convince them that they don't need to have their guns up anymore if they thought that the danger had been averted for now.
What if they were offered a better deal than what they're getting right now?
That is a third question, I'm afraid, so I can't answer it for you. But
Okay, I'm gonna roll with that.
okay.
So what have I succeeded in doing?
So yeah, sorry. So he's like holding his gun, and then he sees the camera lens being pointed towards him, and he's sort of like hiding it behind him now, and he's just like, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be using a gun if it wasn't part of my job here. I mean, obviously, my girlfriend also didn't realize that I was having a guarding job. I did tell her that it was going to be a standard sort of security camera guy kind of situation. So if you could just stop live streaming, that would be great.
Yeah. Everyone loves this love story you're telling us right now, and I really think you're doing such a good job. And while he's saying this, he's gonna walk forwards and try and skirt around the guards to get to the big button.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to roll me 2d6 once again. But as you're talking about his love story and trying to like pull on his heartstrings,
yeah.
I'll ask for emotions.
Everyone loves a love story. That's a 2 and a 4.
Okay, so you get to ask me another question, and that's a success. So what is your question?
If I offered them a better deal, would they take it?
Not unless you actually were able to show them that your deal is better, because at the moment they're just working a 9 to 5.
Yeah. But like, could they be swayed? Think about these characters you created, Wills. What's their backstory? Come on.
Only through some truly substantial changes in their situation. They're quite loyal to the job that they have.
Okay.
They've got great 401ks, or
Yeah.
since it's the future, maybe 4001ks.
40,001k.
That's it. That's the joke.
And they also get free cyber dental.
Oh damn!
That is tempting. But
These so many races.
Do I succeed in skirting around and hitting this button?
Yeah, he's sort of like blushing a bit. He's like, well, obviously, you know, like we met in college, and then you just press the button behind him as he's rambling on, and it's opened the wall for you. And as he's sort of like monologuing about his life story, you kind of sort of slip off into the vape cloud.
I'm gonna film it the whole time, but while I'm like filming it, I'm gonna be like typing in a message to the guys. Actually, no, I'll put on my earpiece and be like, guys, the wall is down. Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay, so Nigel Bambridge, Nigel Big Boy Backstabber Bambridge, you obviously still have your communication earpiece in.
I do.
So you have not only heard Gnarly Death Ray tell them that they have swapped the package with one that's a dummy, essentially. Yep. You've also heard that the barrier that's blocking the exit for all of them has also been taken down.
I throw myself flat on the ground. I want to yell, "Kill them all! The shady ones got the songs, and the wall is down. This will be reflected in your next performance review."
Okay, I'm going to ask you to roll for emotions. I'm going to ask for 2 dice because you are a corporate drone, so you know how to push people's buttons and get them to do what they need to achieve their targets.
You're damn right. That's a 5 and a 6.
Okay, so you drop to the deck and you pull Zach Wack down with you, and you yell at them, you scream at them, threatening that they'll all lose their jobs if they don't open fire right now. And then all you hear, everyone around you, all you hear is just a blast of laser fire, just randomly targeted into the vape cloud, and a lot of it is just sort of cracking straight into the floor. To try and avoid the fire, you sort of like you dip backwards and get out of the way. It's particularly difficult for Carly Rae Jepsen, the old lady, because she's struggling to get her old hip to start moving again. And you grab onto to your compatriots here, and you accidentally fall into the vault itself with Gnarly Death Ray. And suddenly, like the ground below you starts creaking. And you can feel like the weight of all of the people in this huge vault and all of the laser fire underneath sort of destructing the floor itself, like taking away the structural integrity of this probably not very well built building.
Is that myself and Death Ray, is it?
That is, yeah, you and Raze Helson, sorry. Death Ray is already in the vault.
Okay.
While this is going on, I'm shielding Zach's body with my own, and in his ear I am yelling a report about what I just told everyone to do. And I'm awaiting further instructions.
He's like, yeah, okay, Bambridge, just send it to me in your weekly update report.
You never read those!
Do you think this is a lift? Anyone?
Not really a whole lot we could have done with that one.
I, as a fixer, I have a handheld laser blowtorch, which is concealed, which I didn't make up. Unlike the t-shirt gun and literally everything else I've used to this point, I would like to use that. Noticing that the floor is kind of giving way a little bit, I would like to use the laser blowtorch to basically, if we're in the vault already, I'd like to kind of shuffle them, myself, Hellraise, and old lady Carly Rae Jepsen into a corner and blowtorch a bit of the corner away and hopefully drop through to the floor below.
Do you think do you know what that'll do to my hip?
I don't care.
Oh, badass.
I'm gonna stand beside Gnarly and hopefully try and like fall on him if we fall through.
I know a guy that will sell you a new one.
I've always got a hip in my coat. So you're sort of like desperately using your blowtorch to try and are you basically like trying to cut a circle around yourself so that you fall through?
Yeah, or maybe kind of if there's laser fire going into the floor and it's creating holes, maybe just trying to connect between the holes where it's already weakened. As we go into the corner, if I'm anywhere near Nigel, I would like to slip a new pair of sunglasses into his coat and charge him appropriately.
Okay. You're quite far from Nigel and you're behind the vault walls. But as you start like using this this blowtorch to sort of, increase the structural weakness of the floor, you feel the whole weight of the vault shift on its side as the floor itself starts to crumble below you. Flipping over to Charlie J. Julian, it's really great that 4 of the characters in this adventure are all based on the words Carly Rae Jepsen, by the way. It's making it really easy to figure out who's who. Charlie J, what are you up to right now?
Now that I've opened the
you can hear and see the vault starting to like sink into the floor itself.
Oh my god, I've really got to film this. This is going to be such good content for later. And he's going to like... Are they still firing?
Oh yeah, it's a hail of gunfire.
I don't know how Charlie J is going to get in there without dying. So I don't really know if that's the best idea.
They're not firing with any precision.
Just marry that guard. So the Sorry. The fire is completely random. So like the odds of it hitting you are about as high as they are from where you're stood right now. If you were to sprint through.
Okay, yeah. Jolly J is gonna once again put on some banging tunes and sashay his way through the room, hopefully avoiding laser fire.
Okay, so you sashay Shantae through the laser fire and the vape cloud, and you look as the vault starts to plummet through the floor itself. You dive in through the door, grabbing onto the soft cushion to try and use it as some kind of softening device as you fall. And just as you all sort of peer out the door of the vault, you can see Zach Wack sort of like staring at you with gaping eyes, like the plan's not going how it should be. And he barks an order, Nigel Bambridge, and he says, "If you want your promotion, you follow those criminals."
I immediately turn to the guards in the room and say, "If you don't want to get fired, you follow those criminals." And then I jump down the hole.
Okay, so the vault starts falling floor to floor, and it's smashing through every bit of this skyscraper. You go through about 40 different floors, and as you pass by, there is a strange scene happening outside of the door in each one. Like there's a sauna, then the next one there's recording studios, and the next one someone's someone's just trying to record like a really soft lullaby, and then it's just interrupted by this huge cacophony of concrete smashing around them. As it goes through more and more and more floors, you get a feel for just how many different recording artists assigned to this label, and you can see the power and the monopoly that Zach Wack has over this place. And it's all stopped when you feel the vault crash land into what feels like heavy concrete, and you look outside and see amongst a cloud of dust as all of the floors below you have smashed into one big pile of destruction. You think you might be in the car park.
Quick question.
Yes.
When I jumped into the hole blindly, did I effectively just top myself?
Yeah, I'm going to say that you were basically like holding on to the top of the vault. And then just all of the other guards that followed you just completely perished as they just cracked their heads off of some kind of destructed floor on the way down.
That is not going to look good on my quarterly update. Okay. But exciting news, we're hiring.
Yeah. I mean, what the thing that we all need to take away from this is that in a cloud of failure, you were one gleaming success. So you find yourself, I'm not sure who's playing trumpet in the background, by the way.
Sorry, that's my upstairs neighbor.
Got it. So you find yourself, you're quite bruised at the hip, Carly Rae Jepsen, but you are sort of surrounded by these posh cybercars with their sort of like hover wheels currently situated off. And right in the corner of the car park, you can see the getaway vehicle. Can you please describe it to us, Carly Rae Jepsen, but not Carly Rae Jepsen?
It's essentially like a cyber futuristic souped up car, boy racer style car with like the what are those things called where the wind is supposed to come off at the back?
Spoiler.
Spoilers,
like massive spoilers and like colored like LED wheels and stuff. It's like it's proper like something you'd see on Pimp My Ride, but like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like extra, like more extra than anything you'd see on
Does it
Pimp
have a PS2 in the back or not?
Oh, 100%. I mean, PS2.
PS2000.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. It's got like all the latest tech. It's got like massive speakers which are just ridiculous, and it plays and it plays like songs from the 70s, like the 1970s.
Oh no, never mind. Okay, 1970s. All right. So yeah, you see this huge pimped out hot rod that is just blaring all kinds of like funk tracks.
Sonny and Cher, right?
Sonny and Cher.
I was going to say Rose Garden
is reverberating through the car park, and it's almost like it's revving itself up. And you can see to your side, Carly Rae Jepsen, but not Carly Rae Jepsen, is holding like the beeper for the car, and it's like it seems to have ignited the engine. But you feel like a sudden panic as a panel starts opening from the top of the vault, almost like the top of an elevator shaft. It seems to be some kind of emergency exit shaft, and behind it you see Nigel, the big dog backstabber Bambridge, with his brand new Gucci sunglasses that actually are spelled Gucciy. And what are you doing, Nigel?
Gonna try and tase the old lady.
Tase for a tase.
How are you approaching this?
Furiously.
Okay.
Very emotively.
Okay.
I'm saying, you've wrecked my career, possibly. I don't know how I'm going to explain this one unless I bring you in. You're going down, old lady.
Okay, I'm going to ask for 1d6, but you are rolling with emotion, so you need a 2 or higher.
Can I try and hinder him?
It's directly happening against you, so I could ask you to try and roll against him, but you don't have a weapon of yourself anymore.
Okay, well, I'd like to just do something in... Well, let's see what happens to him, but I might like to do something in return.
I have rolled it too.
Okay, you can ask me a question.
What's my bonus like now I'm in this new position? Like, am I...
It's upsettingly low.
Classic. I love it. I live for this kind of stuff. I'm so underappreciated.
He gives you like a paltry 1% bonus, and you're like groveling at his feet.
Oh, it's delicious. Anyway, so I tase an old woman.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you see Carly Rae Jepsen looking quite smug as she sort of like presses the beeper on the car to ignite the engine, and then immediately goes, "Whoa!" As for the second time today, she is tased within an inch of her life. You see her cartoon skeleton flashing at you. What would you like to do to try and help Gnarly Defere Getham and Carly Rae Jepsen?
So are we? As the vault has moved down, right? So we're now all on the car park.
You're in the basement level, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to tase our backstabbing friend.
Tasing all around.
That's the problem with firing first in a duel where there are also several opponents.
How are you approaching this tasing?
Actually, could I say that instead of tasing him, I basically just take a chunk of some kind of debris that I find to hit him on the head with?
Launch it into his skull.
Yeah, just to kind of like just knock him out. Like
he's like on the roof of this vault thing, so he's at a distance. So it'll be a throw rather than a.
How did he tase me so?
Because he's firing a taser. It's one of the little ones that are wire sort of things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm the GM. So yeah, you can either fire the taser up at him, or you'd have to lob something at him instead.
I'll lob something at him. Yeah, so I will grab something to basically throw at his feet. And then like as I sort of grab it, I just say kind of distantly, "When you're dead, I will still be alive," and just kind of like grab the.
I just want to say, I gave it a very quick Google. Carly Rae Jepsen is 157 centimeters tall. That's 5 foot 1.5 inches.
They're small.
And but I'm still imagining her grabbing like a huge chunk of concrete with like rebar, you know, the metal wires.
Yeah.
Like something a super mutant would wield.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great. Just so we're all on the same page on that one.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, using your android strength, I'm going to say that you've got 2 dice on this one. I'm going to ask you to roll for swords, please, Sarah.
Okay,
So a 4 or below.
4 or below. Okay, that's a 5. That's a 3.
Okay, so
Yay.
1 success. So you pick up a piece of rubble that, in honesty, is too big, and it smashes into the feet of Nigel, which rocks him back but doesn't hit him properly. Like it scuffs your nice shoes that you wear for work every day, and you're quite peeved. But also, it's kind of blocked the passage a bit, which is giving the rest of the gang an opportunity to try and get out of this place.
Can Nolly do something?
What are you up to, Nolly?
I would like to click my t-shirt gun round to novelty jumper, and it says Carly Rae Jepsen, and it's on thick knit mode, so it's really gonna land with a punch, and I take aim at Nigel's face. And I also prepare a replacement set of sunglasses for if I break these ones.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? Sure. 2 dice, but you're doing this with like too heavy a knit. This is clearly an angry attack. Roll me emotion.
5 and 6.
5 and a 6. It launches straight into the cranium of Johnny Chiodini's character, Nigel the Big Dog Fabric. Smacks him back, not only tangling him in the fabric, but also leaving a huge imprint of the nice weaving pattern in his forehead. You use this opportunity to sprint out of the vault, dragging the old lady behind you.
Johnny, you look like basket case.
I'm into that.
You make it all the way to the car, which is revving out as it's blasting it's blasting more tunes from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, and then suddenly there is like a sort of moment of panic when you realize that the old lady is still recovering from the tase. Who's going to drive the car?
How long does it take to recover from the tase?
I mean, you've been hit twice, and you've also gone through an entire half of a skyscraper's worth of rubble. So I'm going to say that you're in a bit of a bad spot.
Not Gnarly Rae. I'm not Gnarly Rae.
I don't know who anyone is anymore, me.
Charlie J is gonna take the old woman's face in his hand and you say, "You're beautiful. You can do it. God damn it!" and he's gonna feed her some of his licensed branded multivitamins. Guaranteed to give you the energy and the spunk.
Don't you have
that
any
you need.
cocaine?
Down your
No.
throat.
Yeah.
Okay. This is obviously a celebrity license deal that you've got, so I'm gonna ask for 2 dice, man. And you're doing this with a bit of passion, aren't you? You're literally like rolling it down her throat, trying to get her out of this. Okay, roll me emotions, please.
That's 2 successes.
Okay. So Lolies, you feel like a pyramid scheme has been shoved down your throat, and all of a sudden, like your eyes bolt open as you sort of like realize where you are and what's going on, and you sort of like shake your way back up onto your feet and get into the familiar soft feeling of the sort of plush seats that you've had fitted in this car.
It's a lowrider.
Yeah, it's a lowrider, but it's also got like one of those really fluffy steering wheels, so it doesn't hurt your arthritic hands. And you see Nigel Bambridge, although he's in a bad state, he's been joined by some of the guards on this level who are sort of rushing towards you and sort of firing pop shots at the car.
Kill them.
Anyone want to do anything?
Come on, old lady, drive.
Or what?
Yeah, I'm getting in the car. Yeah.
Jumping in. All right. So, Lodies, I'm going to ask you to do one final roll to try and escape from this hellhole. You rev up the engine and sort of scurve it round some of the massive like Hummers that have laser wheels and all that kind of thing that the record label people would drive. And I'm going to see how well you do. So please roll me 3 dice. Because you've been driving your entire life and you're experienced, and this is definitely the thing that you prepared for at the start of the mission. How are you driving? Reckless abandon? Or
yeah, like I'm a crazy driver. Like you looking at me, you'd think like, oh, she's an old lady, she's gonna drive real slow. But I actually used to be like a racer. Like I used to what's that called when you like illegally race? I can't
Drag racing.
Drag race. Yeah, I used to be a drag racer. So like I've
You're fast and furious.
I'm fast and furious.
Fast and Furious 80.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay,
So let's start the drag race and may the best woman win, I guess.
I've rolled already. It's 3 successes.
3 successes.
Whoa.
Okay. You are all sort of plummeted back into your seats as you feel the power of this engine start to sort of rev itself up and skid forward. The little old lady smashes the back of the car into 3 separate executive vehicles that have been completely annihilated by the back of this thing.
And I'm cackling. I'm like, cackling when it's happening.
Yeah, there's a deafening cackle in your ears as more Sonny and Cher blasts out the speakers. And you just sort of cane it down the main thoroughfare of this car park. Right at the end, you can see like a quite sort of like chubby security guard with a big handlebar mustache who's been reading Cyber magazine. He sort of looks over the edge with like wide eyes as you burst through the metal grating that's supposed to be blocking this thing.
Can I do a donut around him before I blast out?
Absolutely, yeah. As he's eating his donut, he watches your donut and it falls out of his mouth in shock as his mouth is agape before you smash through the metal grating off into the dark, distant night where presumably you will deliver the tracks to Carly Rae Jepsen's cyber form.
I was going to ask if, like, Terminator 2 style, I could grab onto the spoiler and just try and hang off the back of the car in my desperation.
You know what? We got 2 minutes left. Let's do a roll.
Yeah, I'll just try and roll to not die, basically.
Yeah.
I just want to like shout as we're driving out. I don't want to be like, bye, suckers!
I'd like to play Run Away With Me over the Bluetooth speakers.
So much music clashing right now.
So what am I rolling?
How are you approaching this?
A desperation.
Okay. Well, that's convenient because you're going to be rolling for emotions then. There is absolutely nothing about your character that would help you in this.
Okay, so it's
just
1d6.
1d6.
All right. That's a 5.
Okay, so you manage with like the last desperate grasp as the car is pulling off. You manage to grab onto one of the fat spoilers, and you've only got like one hand grabbing on. You're like being pulled through the car park. What would you like to do now?
Just not die.
Okay. I mean, Lolies, you see in your rearview mirror, you see like a disembodied tight knit jumper with a crazy catchphrase on it, just sort of flapping in the wind.
Would the donut not have thrown him off?
Let's see, shall we? Johnny, give me another 1d6. Rolling for emotions, please.
That's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay, you get to ask me a question.
Do you think I'm going to get fired?
I think you're definitely going to get fired. Yeah,
No.
probably by the person who ordered you on this job, and also by the person that you betrayed them to try and join.
Yeah.
I hit the brakes and try and make him like fly over the front of the car.
Yeah, sure.
Do me in. Do me in.
Roll me 3d6 with emotions, please.
Oh, that's a triple success with one question.
What would you like to ask me, Lolies?
Does he die?
Yes.
Bye, sucker!
You see Nigel the Backstabber Banbridge, like as he was like holding on, you smashed through the metal grating out into the street, and you slammed on the brakes and skid, and he is catapulted off into the night sky.
I scream,
And
don't mess with Grandma, Sonny!
he splatters across a billboard.
Can I have filmed this whole thing? With
Yes,
my
you're
phone?
live streaming it. It's the most.
Yeah.
It's the most hits you've ever had on a stream.
Yeah, but you're going to get a Twitch suspension at least.
Yeah, you have broken some community guidelines. You cane it off into the night, off to meet with iCarly to try and turn in this successful job that you've pulled off.
Now for a cup of tea.
Thanks very much for watching this incredibly cursed role-playing game.
Real, that was amazing. Well done.
My throat hurts.
Oh, mate, you nailed that. That was
My
so
wig
much fun.
hurts.
Oh my lord,
Yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it?
that was huge. That was
Yeah.
absolutely enormous.
Well, I loved it. So.
Yeah, how did everyone find that?
Yeah, that was incredible. Thank you, Wills, and thank you
Oh.
all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me
Very
be a
much fun.
traitor as well. That was great fun.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Boy Problems is available for free, just like Lasers and Feelings, but you can pay to get a sort of extended version, which allows you to do like a sample session that they've set up, and it's got kind of like sequels that you can do to come at the end, and then it's also got a Spotify playlist that you can put on when you're playing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to John Harper for his original design, and to, of course, Colin Cummings, pardon me, for
Who was in the chat?
oh,
No,
hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Hello, Colin Cummings. Thanks very much for watching. We've had an incredible time. If you enjoyed this, then we have plenty more RPG content and more to boot on this YouTube channel right here. So please hit subscribe and
Hit
also
subscribe or I'll find you and I'll slap you on your bottom.
Some
But
great
also, if you are stuck for
Whoa.
anything to do this evening, Eurogamer will be going live in 38 minutes. youtube.com/Eurogamer. They have basically set up a stream where they are in a Skyrim pub, and they're just going to be playing some games while having a happy hour in a tavern.
Yeah.
Which frankly sounds amazing. So, oh my god, Colin Cummings really is in the chat.
Thanks very much for watching. Head on over to dicebreaker.com as well if you'd like some fantastic written articles of the same ilk. You've seen 3 of our editorial team, the editor-in-chief Matt Jarvis and staff writers Alex Bean and Sarah Elsom, who will be providing some incredible stuff along with all of our incredible contributors. So please head on over to there. Leave us some lovely comments on all our articles as well, because it makes us feel good. Thanks very much for watching, and most importantly, have
Have a
lovely
lovely day. I thought the whole team was